You may want to calculate the correlation coefficient using Excel. So in other words, calculating the mean, the standard deviation, and using Excel to make those calculations for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the data into Excel as I have here. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type in my mean, and I'm going to type in standard deviation, and I'm just going to abbreviate. And then I'm going to come over to my column B. I'm going to type in equals average. Remember, you always have to put an equal sign at the beginning of any type of formula or anything of that nature. I'm going to open up my parentheses. I'll click on this first data value, hold my button down, and highlight those values. I will close my parentheses, and then I'm going to hit enter. So 75.5 is the average or the mean weight, the mean height of this particular data set. Now to find the standard deviation, this is just a sample, so I'm going to enter equals STDEV dot, since this is a sample, S, open my parentheses. Again, I'm going to highlight those same values. I'm going to do close parentheses, and I'm going to hit enter. So 1.1952229 is my standard deviation. I'm going to do the exact same thing for weight. I'm going to do equals average, open parentheses, highlight my values, close parentheses, enter. Equals STDEV dot S, open parentheses, highlight, close parentheses, enter. Now when we want to find correlation coefficient, what we have to do is we have to take each of these values minus the mean, and then we have to divide it by the standard deviation. So over here in column D, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do equals, I'm going to do open parentheses. I want to take this value, I want to subtract the mean, and I want to get that quantity, and then I'm going to divide the standard deviation. And I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to do that for every single one of these. Equals, open parentheses, this value minus the mean, close parentheses, divided by standard deviation. Okay? Now, if you want to make this a little bit faster process, on this very first one, right here in the B11, if you'll put B $11 and B $12 and hit enter. And then what I'm going to do is, you see this square here at the very bottom of that cell, and you notice how my cursor changes from a plus to this little black plus. I'm going to click and I'm going to scroll down, and notice how that green box gets longer. And whenever I let go, it has actually filled in all of my values. Now, if I don't put that $, it will not use these same two values. It actually moves my values down. And I'm going to show you that on the next column. Okay? So I want to make sure I put that $sign in there. Let me show you on this next column with the weight what happens if I don't put that $sign in there. I need to do that for the weight as well. I need to do equals, open parentheses, the value minus its mean, close parentheses, divided by its standard deviation. Enter. Now, I'm not going to go all the way down, or I could. I'm going to scroll down just a few. Notice it starts saying divided by 0. Because remember, I didn't put in that $sign. I'm going to click here. I wanted C11 and 12. Well, if I just drag down, notice it also drags down one box here. As I move down, it also moves these boxes down. So if I do not put those dollar signs in there, then it moves these boxes down as well. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to come here and I'm going to click and I'm going to enter a dollar sign here, and I'm going to enter a dollar sign here, and I'm going to click back up here on E2, and then I'm going to scroll down, and I have corrected those values. Now, in order to calculate correlation coefficient, remember I'm going to have to take this column right here and multiply it by this other column. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take equals this column times this column. Enter. And this one I don't need any dollar signs because I do want to go down, because I want to do equals this column times this cell. Okay? And so I'm just going to click here and scroll down. That has multiplied this value times this value, this value times this value. To get our correlation coefficient, I need the sum of all of these values. So I'm just going to hit equals sum, open my parentheses, I'm going to highlight these values, close my parentheses here. Now my correlation coefficient is that value divided by n minus 1. Now I'm not going to try to find n minus 1. I'm just going to come over here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 values here. N minus 1, so that would be 7. So I'm going to take equals this number divided by 7. And there is my correlation coefficient, or my R. So this is one way to calculate your correlation coefficient using Excel. So hopefully this helps some of you with calculating your correlation coefficient with using Excel. Okay?